Welcome back to the For the Badge podcast. It's been a crazy wild weekend in the Premier League. We're going to run down some of the results starting on Saturday. Palace traveled to Aston Villa and put in a completely listless performance.
Well, they scored a goal. It's just
They
scored
did.
in the wrong goal.
It was a fantastic finish for them.
Exactly.
It actually was a good finish.
It was.
Palace
Zaha would be jealous at that finish, you know?
Oh, yeah. Palace are in trouble, dude.
Yeah.
I mean,
Imagine
both
Reds.
both the challenges it was not a straight red. It was 2 yellows,
I
but
see
both
that,
of them were borderline. So he can have no complaints. I thought that Villa should have actually had a couple of more goals, to be honest with you. And I've been hearing some people say that City might struggle next weekend at Palace. Unfortunately, I'm not buying that. Especially after this performance. Yes, Palace have sort of been able to do stuff at home, but I guess the only positive is Willie Zaha was back. They had the ball in the net, but they were offsides. So they might be able to bring something versus City, but they didn't bring much versus Villa. And as far as Villa are concerned, I feel like you just got to beat what's in front of you.
Yep. Well, it's interesting to see that they're 11 and 12, and it's 7 points between them. So they basically, Villa's safe, and Palace is biting their nails, and I don't know really how Palace continues with the inconsistency. I mean, is it the manager? Is it the personnel? I mean, it's at this point you kind of have to ask questions of everybody.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Watching Palace is frustrating. I'll be honest with you. I've watched a ton of games this season, and Palace just frustrate me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're only 6 points off the bottom.
Woo!
I mean, you've said that since day one.
Time to sweat.
I mean, but 12th to 20th is 6 points. So they got some work to do. Villa's in there with Chelsea, only behind on goal difference, which is wild because Chelsea have a negative goal difference. Anyway, yeah, I just think that it's a good win for Villa, really.
Yeah,
gotta win your home games. Like I say, Palace were really open on the break. As I watched like the extended highlights of this one, and Villa enjoy that kind of a game where they have space on the break, and I think they could have had a couple more goals. But yeah, they'll take the 3 points absolutely. One game I actually did go back and watch all of was the Brighton West Ham game.
Oh wow!
And this could have been another Liverpool United. I mean, I know it was 4-0. Brighton blasted them, man. They're worth every bit of this win. And of course, you gotta love my man Danny Welbeck with the little cherry on top at the end of the game. I'm a Welbeck fan. I gotta say, he's a for the badge player, man. No matter where he was,
right.
He always gives his heart for the shirt, man. When he was at Arsenal, that was his best attribute. Honestly, he's not a prolific finisher, but he worked and worked and ran and worked and worked, and you love it. You love to see that. I thought that Matoma was immense again. Got his goal as well. Brighton are cruising, man. For some reason, they've only played 23 games.
Yeah, I'm looking at the table right now, and they could be in fourth place if they were to go win their next 3.
Win your next 3, and they're in fourth place for sure. So I'm pretty sure they deserve it. So did anybody catch that now? So,
I got it.
No, we're not acknowledging.
Good. It's probably the best. But yeah, I think Brighton are another team that Arsenal are Brighton again. I think we host them at one point. Maybe. and so that's another real tough fixture in the run-in. Are we sure that David Moyes is going to make it?
Oh, so the Twitter buzz after that match was that Moyes had been sacked, and the fat Spanish waiter was going to be the one to take over, but that kind of all died down by Saturday evening. So I don't know what's going on, but I'm shocked he hasn't been sacked yet, because he was supposed to be sacked if he lost to Lampard, which
Yeah,
he didn't. And then
he won that game, didn't he?
Yeah, he won 2-0, I think.
And Lampard got sacked instead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but good old Rafa being at West Ham would be interesting, to say the least.
They're going to struggle to keep Declan Rice there.
Oh yeah, he's gone. He's gone.
It's not looking great at West Ham, and I'm honestly surprised David Moyes is still there as well. To be honest with you, especially after an absolute. I mean, and this was just, it was, again, I mean, it wasn't as dramatic as the stats from the Arsenal game, but it was wave after wave.
Yeah.
West Ham didn't really offer much, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I went back and watched the goals, and I mean, there wasn't much effort there. At least they didn't get United.
Right.
Or Liverpool.
It's funny looking at West Ham has a potential 150 million quid investment on the horizon, in addition to getting 80, probably 80-ish for Rice. I mean, that's a huge kitty to go forward with. And so do you give it to a new manager, or does Moyes do it? Because now it's funny, I didn't know this story, but they had Sam Allardyce comment on the team and said he was concerned about West Ham and that the manager should take the team on a vacation away to kind of clear their heads. That feels I don't know how, if I'm the manager, I don't know how I feel about him saying that. I don't know how I feel about that, but it is what it is.
Seems counterintuitive. Like, you don't take days off when you're in the basement. You got work to do.
Right.
Yeah, it seems a little bit weird. Speaking of in the doldrums, in the basement, I really enjoyed the Wolves game, or at least the highlights. I didn't. I heard so much. I've watched so much content and heard so much about it. I never actually even watched the highlights. I did, however, watch the goal. I did go back and look at the goal. Have you seen this goal? It's
Which
the
one?
most ridiculous thing I've. The Adama Traore
Yes.
scored in the 82nd minute
Yes.
to beat Spurs. It's the weirdest. It's just the most ridiculous. He's leapt in the air to shoot the ball.
Well, yeah. It was weird. First off, though, we have to make mention that unfortunately Diego Costa was stretchered off.
Yeah, he got hurt.
Yeah.
Really, yeah.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
Was he trying to hurt someone and hurt himself?
Probably, you know. You know what? We need Diego Costa and Tyler Adams to play each other.
Right. No, I actually did see what happened to Diego. It was one of those where you land before you thought you were going to land, and his knee straightened, and it went the wrong way. Yeah, those are brutal.
I have a question for the universe. How can anyone be a Spurs fan, man? Like, I'm not being rude. This has got to be the most inconsistent money-making organization I've ever seen in life. And they're still somehow amongst the elite. I don't get it.
Well, they do just enough. They do just enough. Just enough.
But hey, if you look at recent performances, and if you look at we'll leave the Chelsea game out of it because Chelsea were just awful in that game.
Mm-hmm.
Awful.
If you look at Tottenham's recent performances, and not necessarily results, but the performances themselves, it's worrying. And salute.
Bless you.
With the the way things went this weekend, all told, it just feels like it's more doomsday at Spurs than it is at Chelsea. Because if Tottenham don't make the top four and Conte goes,
and Kane
and
goes.
Kane goes,
Ooh.
it really what
they
it looks like to me
they
is
become relegation fodder at that point.
they're standing on the edge of a precipice that they may not ever get back up to.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm ever is obviously a bold statement, but I mean, yeah, they're looking at slipping into mid-table mediocrity, and I can't say that without a huge grin on my face. Back to the good old days when Tottenham were, just the little brother
St.
you would hold off your hand while he swinged his arms. But I mean, it's they're building a racetrack under the stadium. Like,
yeah, I heard that.
It's clear that Levy could care less what's going on the field. Just doesn't even. He probably doesn't even know. He probably isn't even looking. Probably even watching. Doesn't even care at all.
Doesn't care.
I heard that.
Right.
I heard that the management of the stadium is so poor that Beyonce had to cancel her concert that they were going to do there in the summer because they booked too many people. They booked too many concerts and they overbooked. They double booked Beyonce. What are you doing? What are you thinking? Like Spurs. I mean Spurs. It's just bottle ham. Bottle ham Spurs, and I love it. You just absolutely.
It's so Spursy.
So the most
that is
Spursy
so
thing that's
Spursy.
going to happen is they're going to beat Milan in advance because that's what's going to happen.
No, it's not.
And it just makes it more confusing.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Milan's going to
Oh my God. Chelsea's going to pull a miracle.
It's the most Spursy thing.
And then play Tottenham in the quarterfinals. Yes.
I want it now. I officially want it.
See it.
I want it now.
We might actually try in that one.
If you beat Dortmund and then see Tottenham in the quarterfinals, Chelsea somehow makes it to a semifinal in the Champions League.
Wouldn't matter. We're not going to be there next year. Graham Potter.
If you win it, you will. Yo, if you make a semifinal, all bets are off.
Exactly.
All the crap goes out the window if you're in a semifinal of the Champions League. It's 90 minutes.
Di Matteo's this season, I swear to God.
He's there forever after that. Forever.
Yo.
Di Matteo wasn't even there forever.
No,
that was
Di
the
Matteo
first one.
wasn't getting paid Potter money.
Right.
Wow. But yeah, I mean, if it's another City Chelsea Champions League final.
And we steal it from Pep.
Oh my gosh.
That would be the craziest.
That
would be the craziest season we've seen in recent times.
You'd have to quit on the spot if that happens.
That would be epic.
That would be
epic. At that point, Chelsea would ship the league just to focus on Champions
League. If Graham Potter lifts the bunny ears, the elephant ears, will you take that pin off your hat? If he wins the Champions League, will you take that pin off your hat?
I will eat my cleats if that man wins the Champions League.
I'm glad this is recording.
It's on record.
It's on record.
I will always be in the Potter out camp.
He wins the Champions League.
No.
X is eating his cleats.
Always. I will eat my cleats if that man wins us any silverware.
Well,
I will even say any silverware that Graham Potter brings.
Be about to be eating some cleats.
No.
We've made it, guys. It's our weekly segment. How does Brendan Rodgers have a job?
That man.
He's lost to Southampton.
Hey, we lost to Southampton. Our manager kept his job.
Y'all are a shambles. Sorry. I'm sorry. That was bad.
You're not wrong.
Leicester, God, this game was awful.
They even had a missed penalty, or this could have gotten out of hand.
Actually, I did watch this game. This was the late game.
Yeah, it was the 12:30.
I'm not gonna.
I just forgot because I almost fell asleep. Yeah, it was. But see, Alcaraz could have been sent off before he scored.
Really?
Yeah, he had a pretty nasty challenge before the goal. But and I don't even know who this Alcaraz person is. Brand is the new dude at Southampton. Massive, massive win for the Saints.
Mm-hmm.
You know what makes it more interesting, because the manager should get fired bowl is next week now, because Chelsea plays Leicester, and so that's gonna be more beautiful.
It's another El Sacico.
El Sacico.
I'm
You
for
know,
it.
So does that mean X is gonna root for Brendan Rodgers against Graham Potter?
I would rather Teflon Brendan over here keep his job.
ooh,
Every day
we
of the
got to go to
week.
KP.
Oh man. Hey, Leicester are known for 10 men in the box at the KP.
Yeah. Do they have a second
City did it
goalie?
against Arsenal.
Do they have a second goalie?
I don't know if they had as many goalies as Bournemouth had. But yeah. I mean, Leicester baffle me. They baffle me. It's
They
another
are
one of those
flirting with
enigma
danger
teams, man.
too. I'm telling you.
It's another one of those enigma teams. And Southampton just hanging on by the skin of their teeth. They're off the bottom on goal difference. You know, and hey, they should be encouraged that there's only 6 points between them and 12th place
Yeah.
after just an awful season. It still baffles me that it's their third manager this season. Or have they even gotten a new manager after?
I think they got a new manager.
Yeah,
I think so.
it's
Well, poor Southampton. They're going to be the sacrificial lamb for United.
oh god.
Are they?
Yeah, are they
Oh
though?
yeah. Oh yeah.
Well,
They
you
will.
see, speaking of that, I actually went and looked at some Real Betis highlights, which is who United are playing in Europa League. They've just drawn Real Madrid,
Yeah.
and I watched those highlights. It was back and forth, real back and forth game. It wasn't Betis sitting back getting walloped and managed to keep them out. So if there's a hangover from this, if the hangover continues, and United take who knows, man.
Yeah.
After a 7-0 loss, who
It
knows
shakes
what it's
you,
going to take to
right.
get back to the heights. So maybe Southampton can keep us all smiling for
I tell
another
you,
weekend.
15 from 20 is man. That's some danger.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's some jeopardy. And
Leicester at 24,